What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. I know it's been a while since I put a video out, and I apologize about that, but holidays and family and everything like that, there really hasn't been too much to put out. So you know, a couple pickups here and there. I got the Wolfman. I started these guys, so pretty stoked about that. But other than that, you know, just kind of hanging out and just being with the family and stuff like that. But we got a good one for you today. We've got two TMNT collectors showcasing their awesome TMNT collections. First up, it's going to be Saturday Morning Collectibles, and you might want to check this one out. So let's go ahead and jump right in, and let's get to it.
Hey friends, Saturday Morning Collectibles here. First, I want to give a huge thanks to Shellback Toy Rewind for letting me show my TMNT collection. There's a lot of great TMNT content creators out there, and I know he's featured quite a few in the past, so I count myself very grateful to be featured amongst them. And then second, I'm really excited to be sharing my TMNT collection with everybody. I'm going to show you a wide range between comics to new toys to vintage toys, loose, in-box. I believe my collection covers the gambit. I've been collecting since the mid-90s with figures in the box, and I kept all of my loose figures from the late 80s up until then. I'll also add, if you like what you see, I do a lot of toy unboxings and toy hunts, hopefully another in-depth room tour on my own channel. If that sounds like something you guys would like to keep up with, you can follow me on Instagram at Saturday Morning Collectibles and also on YouTube at Saturday Morning Collectibles. All right, without further ado, let's hop into it. I want to start by showing my ultra modern figures. Like many of you out there, the original cartoon was very instrumental in my life. I was 6 years old when the original cartoon came out, and I watched it pretty much all throughout the entire series. And a lot of the toys I remember getting as a kid, I just have super fond memories of that time in my life. So when NECA announced that they would be branching out into the cartoon line, of course I had to jump all in. I'm not going to go through every figure in detail here, because I believe most of you have probably already seen these already. But I do want to share some of the things that are in the background, like this VHS tape. This is the one I had when I was a kid at my dad's house, and I remember anytime I'd go over there, me and my brother would take this out and put it in the VCR and play the heck out of this thing. It's very worn. So I love the callback VHS tapes that NECA chose to use with their deluxe figures. You'll see another one back there with the pizza monster. Let's see, this shelf has a lot of the frogs and Leatherhead. Leatherhead's my favorite villain from the old cartoons, so of course he's got to be highlighted here. This is one of my favorite shelves. I believe this VHS tape was at my mom's house. Again, very worn, something that me and my brother wore out as a kid. You'll see another one in the background. Now, if you're curious to this setup here, this couch came from Hobby Lobby, as did the TV stand. I know that the accessory set just came out with the TV stand, so if you already got that, no need to buy a duplicate. I do want to show this television here with the Nintendo 64 on it. I got this from a company called Retro Tech. If you guys are curious to purchase your own, you can feel free to check them out on Instagram. I love that Baxter Stockman too. And at the very bottom here, you'll see the figure in the background that I got. This was the big ones. I'm a huge fan of Donatello, as you'll see here pretty soon. Most of my figures are Donatello. When I choose to only get one turtle, I always have to get Donatello. So this one came from, I believe it was Books A Million is where I got it. It's still in the box. And the second one, this one's pretty neat. I got this back, I'm not sure when it came out, but I remember it was a GameStop exclusive. And this is from the very first movie. I remember pre-ordering it. They were made to order. And I've kept it in the box ever since. I'm not going to take it out. I'm going to keep it in the box. I love that thing. I'm a big believer that if you have figures post-2000 that's modern, you should let them breathe. And anything vintage, keep them in the box. But for this one, I'm probably going to leave in the box. And again, like most of you, I'm sure that you're running out of room. So I had to branch my NECA figures over here on my bookcase. So you'll see the Neutrinos here, the Baby Turtles. We got the Dark Turtle, which I love. The Robotic Bebop and Rocksteady. The Turtles in Disguise, which are awesome. Again, I'm not going to go through every single one of these. I do want to show this Peter Laird first turtle in the background. I love that thing. As well as the Super 7 Leatherhead. It's awesome. And continuing with the modern theme, I do want to show this giant Donatello, which I love this thing. If you guys saw my unboxing video, you'll know that I was very remorseful for selling my giant Donatello as a child, so this is a great one to have for my collection. And then I also have the Playmates reissue, which isn't a bad one. It's a good one to have. I have the Playmates reissued blimp. I also have the Turtle Van. It's missing its lid, which I'll show you why here in a second. I have the boxes that they came in. I didn't keep these as a kid, so to have these again, it's just nostalgia. Taking up room, but hey, it still looks cool. I have this 1-Up arcade that I got at Walmart. It's a staple in my background for any of the videos I make. Plus, me and my boys, we love coming in here and playing this. If you guys were fortunate or unfortunate to go through the second Loot Crate debacle, then you also should have these oven mitts, which are pretty cool from the Pizza Monster. You have this license plate party wagon. That's pretty neat. I want to transition next into modern art / comics. I want to highlight this first piece, which I got back in 2017 from a comic convention in Knoxville, Tennessee called Fanboy Expo. If you guys are ever in that area when that convention's going on, you should definitely drop by. One of my favorite pieces of TMNT art is actually a crossover between the TMNT cartoons and Jurassic Park, one of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time. This was drawn by a gentleman named Aaron Hazuri. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name. I love this art. If you guys want similar type of art, please check out his website. Great dude. He does a lot of even the new NECA boxes. A lot of that art's from him, and he just does a great job. This piece was drawn by a gentleman named Guy Gilchrist. I also got this at that same convention in Knoxville, Fanboy Expo. Let's see, I want to show the puzzle behind it, which is a modern puzzle that I bought. I forgot where I got it at, but love this puzzle. Me and my boys and my wife, we built this together. It took probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 months, took our time with it, and just love it. I had to frame it, actually. Great piece. Now, as far as comics go, one of my favorite pieces is this TMNT issue number 2 from the Mirage line. This is the second print. I bought this off eBay, got a great deal. I took it to Lexicon, a comic convention in Lexington, Kentucky when Kevin Eastman was there, had him sign and sketch it. You'll see his signature there along with the turtle head. Had it graded, sent it off to grading for CGC, came back a 9.6. Totally happy with that one. And then I also have quite a large accumulation of the Last Ronin comics. If you guys are curious to see my entire collection, I'm not going to spoil it all here. You'll have to watch my video. I did a whole video of my entire collection. But I do want to show these that I sent off to an event for CGC where Kevin signed it and sketched it with the Last Ronin sketch in purple. Donatello is my favorite color, so obviously I had to do it in purple. The label it came with was a gold signature series label with the Last Ronin, and it got a 9.8. And the other one I have is the number 3. That first one was number 1, by the way. This is the number 3 black and white cover. I love Baxter Stockman, and it's got Mutagen Man there along with the turtle, foot soldier. And then he, of course, sketched it and signed it in purple, and this one also got a 9.8. And I saved the best for the last 2 parts. The first is going to be my loose vintage things that I've collected since the late 80s when I was a kid. I want to start with the video game boxes. How cool is this? I got the Game Boy original Fall of the Foot Clan, the original NES with the Turtles. I got the arcade for the NES. And I have the poster that came with the NES. I have it framed. I love that I kept this as a kid. In my cabinet, which by the way, these cabinets are DTOF cabinets from IKEA, and the lighting also came, I think the lighting came from Home Depot actually, the LED lighting. But there's a lot going on here. You'll see Funko Pops here. One is from like 8-bit Donatello. You have a Leatherhead. I love these ones that are sketched. You have this one from Kevin Eastman from his online fan shop. This one was sketched Metalhead, signed by him also. Also the comic convention, Fanboy Expo, I met the original voice actor from Donatello, Barry Gordon. You'll see his signature phrase, "Give him shell." He signed it, "Hoy Brad, Donatello." Love that from Funko. And this one from, I got this at KB Toys, this Donatello Men in Box. This was the reprint that came out in 1998, I believe. Had Barry Gordon sign that as well. I have a Dark Turtle card here. You can't really see this, but I got this at also Fanboy Expo, a Lego Donatello. We have a lot of 80s vintage turtles here. We got Soft Head Splinter. I believe that's a Hard Head Raph, Soft Head Mikey, Soft Head Donnie. I actually took this to Lexicon and had Kevin Eastman signed it. I played with this one so hard as a kid. There's still super glue on the leg. We got a Soft Head Bebop. We got Foot Soldier, Soft Head Shredder, and Soft Head Rocksteady. That's a Hard Head Leo, by the way. These were all from my personal collection. We have Donatello, Undercover Donnie. We have another Donatello from my childhood. This vehicle that came from eBay a long time later, probably like 5 years ago. Also got the box it came in. Here is the missing roof to the Playmates reissue. I went to a toy convention in Greenville, South Carolina a couple years ago and had all 4 voice actors sign it. You can't really see all the way down on the bottom, but all 4 of them signed it here. I have Baxter, I have Casey, Crane, Trag, Leatherhead. All these were from my personal collection. Since I've also been trying to collect some ones that I didn't have as a child. Oh, you have this Donatello / Power Rangers crossover Funko Pop there. But I do have the Dark Turtle. I have the Universal Monsters. I'm only missing Raph as the Mummy, but I have Leo as Wolfman, Donnie as Dracula, Mikey as Frankenstein's monster. This next shelf, Fugitoid, Metalhead, Muckman, Pizza Face, Mutagen Man, Rat King / Scumbug. I believe this was Genghis Frog. You have, no, it wasn't Genghis Frog. I'm trying to think which frog that was. Help me in the comments. We have Ace Duck. We have Ray Fillet. Back there we have Genghis Frog, and we have Wingnut and Screw Loose. We have Usagi Yojimbo, Punk Rock Don. I did recently purchase Donatello's the Cowboy, and also Donatello, the military Donatello. Back here you have the original Nintendo Power from the very first Turtles game on the NES. You have one of my favorite Archie comics because it's Leatherhead. Back here in the back, Kevin Eastman also signed and sketched this one. And then at the very bottom, you have this giant button, which I actually bought a few years ago at Dallas Vintage Toys in Dallas, Texas. We'll have this lunchbox, which I actually had as a child. I still had it. I took it from my mom's garage recently. And then when I was a child, my mom kept these, thankfully, that a party that I had at Mr. Gaddy's. You got the original plate and napkin. We have Store Shield Donatello. We have Surfer Mike. I'm not sure which, some type of party Mike, another party Mike. We have Samurai Leo, Space Cadet Raph. I'm not sure which Leo that is either. And we have Wacky Mikey and looks like Storage Shell Leo right here also. A couple other cool things. I got this at a local flea market here where I live in East Tennessee. It's the original Pizza Power game. Everything's still in the box, pretty neat. I also got this at the Lexicon convention, which is the Deluxe Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle storage case. Now I want to end the video in what I consider the holy grail of my TMNT collection, which is all of my mint in box TMNT figures. None of these came from my childhood. I got all these as an adult. I got all these on eBay when they were $30 or less. This was before the Toys That Made Us Netflix show came out, and the TMNT figures just skyrocketed after that. I got a couple of them too at a local flea market. But let's just go through them. I'll go through these individually just really quick. We have Ground Chuck, we have Ray Fillet. I love the box art on these things. They're just, again, so nostalgic if you grew up collecting these. We got Mondo Gecko, we got Hose 'Em Down Don, Scumbug, Rat King, Genghis Frog, Tin-Back Rocksteady, Trag, Ace Duck, Tin-Back Shredder, Panda Con, Leatherhead, I love that one. Undercover Dawn, another one of my favorites. Baxter Stockman, Tin-Back Raph, Tin-Back Donatello, Tin-Back Leo, Tin-Back Mikey, and Tin-Back April. All right, that wraps it up. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. Back to you, Shellback Toy Rewind.
All right, guys, that was Saturday Morning Collectibles and his awesome TMNT collection. Thank you so much, Saturday Morning, for sending in that submission. That was amazing. But up next, we've got At Home Comics, and his collection is pretty sick as well. So let's go ahead and get to it.
Hey everybody, my name is Adam Blake. I'm At Home Comics on Instagram, and I want to thank Shellback Toy Rewind for hosting my toy room tour. I've only been collecting about a year, a little over a year, and an interesting aspect of mine is my wife and I travel, so we live in a van, and my collection is actually stored in my childhood bedroom in my parents' house. I really appreciate they let me use that room, and it makes it a fun place to dwell when I'm feeling nostalgic about Turtles, thinking about what I wish I could have had. as a child, and I hope you really like that. It does change how I display things. Try to use the bookshelves and the shelves that were in here, but as the collection grows, we'll see what we can do. Here's a general tour. I hope you like it. Stay tuned. All right, I guess this is where I should start. It is the bulk of my NECA toon display. I love the diorama, the toon diorama from NECA. It allows me to post so many figures in one spot in dynamic poses. It can become one big shot. You can hide things behind the windows and fire hydrants. You can set up battles or communications. It really adds a kind of a personality and a way to display multiple scenes at once. It scales well with that channel 6 pre-mutation box. And with those, I like to hang a few of my neutrinos flying around to give it some more depth and more space. From there, I kind of like to break down certain shelves. This is my Mighty Mutanimals shelf, the extended version, even including Pigeon Pete. These are kind of an homage to not just the Archie versions, but the IDW with Slash and Mutagen Man. Lets me store some of my colorful VHS boxes in the back as well, and some accessories. I really like how this shelf ties together. Right below it is the first shelf I started collecting, the Turtles in Time. The Bebop and Rocksteady was the first pack I saw. Continued getting it, and I would say one of my grails originally was this Foot arcade pack. I love the orange and the white and the big hammer for the Foot. It's a #1 piece for me. My die-cast figures are there as well. Didn't really know always where to put them, but I think they're kind of a fun rendition. This third shelf for me is generally overflow and some extra heads. A lot of head stands, you know, if you do NECA, that heads, hands, and as I'll show the way I handle accessories, it's plentiful and a thing to manage on its own. Below is kind of an ever-growing Funko Pop collection. I do have all the minis except for Casey and Leatherhead, 2 of the chases. Some new Christmas ones were the Blacklight Casey Jones and this larger Krang, which I love. I'm working on getting every shredder that they have. I think a Power Ranger and maybe 1 or 2 variants are the only ones left for me. The bottom shelf is kind of the knick-knack shelf. It does have some kid robots, the re-release Walmart and Target Giants, a few chibi things, a few of the ice cream melts, and generally just a nice spot to put miniatures of the turtles. It keeps it lively, and I think it's a lot of fun. I've recently gathered some just tapestries and fabrics. This is actually an old pillowcase from my childhood, which I think is fun with my childhood room being the place that I store the most of my toys. When I started, it was mostly toys, but I moved into plushes. I like the Mutant Mayhem aesthetic in almost all cases. And some books and comics have found my way. I really like that visual history. This is Ben Bishop signed Lost Years. Adventures is my favorite covers, and these are some of my favorites, though I have started collecting the movie and Secret of Views adaptations. Of course, any turtle needs a cookbook for pizza. One of my favorite things has been accumulating all the Series 1, Series 2, Movie 1, 2, and 3 cards. I haven't ever bought a full pack. I've just been getting individual packs and hoping. And then some comics that I just like having a number 20 of 200, number 99 variant. Saturday Morning Cartoon has been one of my favorite new turtle entities, and the Armageddon game is awesome, as well as Return to New York, my favorite arc. I like this, and it gets depicted in some of my toys. I have it on DVD, and it's one of my favorite stories. I do have a culinary degree, so if I ever need to make pizza out of that book, I've got a personalized peel. pizza cutter and the shredder back there. This is kind of a shelf of minis. I do have some unpacked reaction figures, but mostly what I like the reaction figures for is their card. I especially like the cartoon aesthetic that they're coming with, and sometimes you can find them on clearance at Target. So I'm picking those up ever so slowly just to use them basically as wallpaper and card backs. Of course, with Christmas just leaving, we had the Christmas stockings. I do have some best action. I don't know how I feel about some of these. I love the aesthetic of the packaging, the boxes, even some of the characters, but the quality, visibility lacks. Ronin characters do not lack, and they are growing and increasing in quality, it seems like, and in aesthetic and in numbers. I think currently I have 6 Ronin characters on pre-order. Similar, the Mirage from NECA has been a line that I've really caught up on, and it's caught me. Characters like Savanti are one of my favorites of the year. This Zog is one of the best figures I've ever had. People love the Lost and Turtles, and I love the Shredder clones. There's a little bit more of the best action, specifically the arcade. The Turtles in Time and the arcade is just one of the fondest iterations or versions of Turtles, so I love seeing the battle damage. I look forward to getting Tokon Razar on this, and a few mini Lego knockoffs just to add some fun, and a few canvas prints. Up top, we've got a few box things. One of the only box things at Black and White Usagi, a Farmer Donatello with his pipe, an actual cassette tape of the musical Mutagen tour, and then just some various things, some graded comics, Cave Turtles, Playmates Mirage, and a mint on card unpunched Ray Fillet, as well as my only large Super 7 glow-in-the-dark Mutagen Man. If we come around, we get some smaller fun things like these bag clips and keychains, some puzzles, and the Hot Wheel cars. Again, I like that the cards add so much fun color. Some cool art done by a guy on Instagram, Alex Del Giannis, is the best way I can pronounce it. He did the Shredder Splinter. He did all these Intergalactics, which I can't wait to have when the NECA Intergalactic set comes. Speaking of wrestlers, we've got the Ultimate Warrior Donatello. I really like this. Don't know about some of the other mashups of the characters. Huge blimp. This blimp isn't in a line that I necessarily carry, but it's just so big and so cool with the repelling action for the turtles. It's just, I think, a cool corner piece. It fills up the space really great and just looks impressive. And it hangs over my Mutant Mayhem collection. Mutant Mayhem I thought was a great movie. I think these figures at $10 a piece are really cool. I think the playset is one of the prettiest, coolest playsets. My nephew sometimes uses this room, and they're a wonderful version of the turtles that he can pose and take pictures of and do stop motion. So I don't sleep on the Mutant Mayhem. They're not the most premium, but I think they're actually pretty good for what you get. It'd be hard to not have the Mega Mutant and some of the tots, as well as some of the minifigs. Here's some of the leftover comics, some trades, IDW best ofs, and various things. Just kind of starting to see how I feel about those. Down here is kind of a fun shelf. It is a mix of retro re-releases, retro purchases, and my own toys from my childhood. I think it's something that I'm working on. My van and my sub are both incomplete, but they were mine. So just figuring out how I want to store these, how much I want of them is something I'm working on, figuring out lighting, things like that. But I like having that mix of new and classic. So then we move up basically to more NECA posed cartoon line. I've got a few shelves that I like to pose out a few different characters. The shelves can take about 8 to 10 a piece, and this is where I do the bulk of my accessory storage. When I have them only in drawers or in tackle box type things, I really feel like I'm missing out. Like I said, the accessories are such an aspect of the NECA figures that not being able to utilize them just seems like a waste. So I really like to pose them. It gives good interactions between different figures. It gives them an opportunity to, you know, fight, be friendly, again, kind of like the diorama does, but just in a different way in isolated scenes. As I've collected more, it's actually made it a little easier to find the balance between good guys and bad guys. The turtle line is primarily populated by some really cool bad guys, but not near enough good guys. And so when I have scenes like this Dimension X kind of all-star crew, it levels out a way for me to disperse some of them. We've also got a few more just trinkets to watch. My first Universal Monster Raphael was a Christmas present. Only the turtles so far in the movie line, kind of miraging or copying their Funko stances and aesthetics. Not sure what I want to do about movie line. And some more plushies. That is the bulk of the room. I do have a little bit of best action and of course a head knocker to welcome you to the door, but this is how my room in my turtle collection has grown. I thank Shellback Toy Rewind for sharing this. I've worked really hard to cultivate things, and I have a lot of fun displaying them and continuing to collect. I think it's a great opportunity to show that, and I feel like with us living in the van, being able to come back and pose and have fun with the turtles is one of the things I look forward to most on our return trips. Thanks everybody for following along with me. I hope you find something in here that you think is really cool. I know I think most all of it is really cool. So thanks again.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this one. Hope you guys enjoyed those collections, enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Apparently, it helps out the channel, but, you know, I appreciate it. If you like the channel, maybe give me a sub and hit that bell, and YouTube will notify you when I drop my next video. But as for you collectors out there, if you have an amazing TMNT collection, please let me know. Hit me up on Instagram, shellback_toy_rewind. Send me some pictures and videos and stuff like that of your collection, and you could be showcasing your collection here on the channel as well. Yeah, guys, hope you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.